You have teachers in Atlanta, Georgia, who are going to lose their freedom for cheating on standardized testing. Now, before we get into how stupid this is, in my opinion, let's backtrack a little bit. The Superintendent Hall, who, God rest her soul, who lost her battle with breast cancer, she was awarded Superintendent of the Nation. Okay, she was the number one superintendent because of the high test scores that were going on in Atlanta. But you know what? Somebody didn't like that. So what they did was they ended up trying to find out how were these test scores so high. I mean, it can't be. I mean, we talking about Atlanta here, and we talking about some rural area schools that are getting high marks. We got to figure out what's going on here. So a team of lawyers and some people that's part of, the school board at large decided that they were going to snoop and find out how were these test scores so high. So they went and they investigated and they looked and they noticed that some of the answers were the same and some of the scratches were the same, and they came to a conclusion to say that the teachers were cheating for the students, changing the answers on students' tests in order for them to succeed. First off, before I get into this, I just have to say, standardized testing is one of the biggest culturally biased things in the history of civilization. You have school systems that don't learn remotely what other school systems learn. For example, when I was in Louisiana, we took something called the LEAP test, okay? The LEAP test was a test given to students in Louisiana. Students in Louisiana who didn't make good grades, who didn't go above and beyond when it came to the classroom. They took a test from California and they brought it to Louisiana, and they expected for us to take it, and they expected for us to exceed expectations. Are you kidding me? Louisiana was at the bottom of the totem pole. I don't know what it is now. At the bottom of the totem pole when I was in school. It was at the bottom. I mean, I'm talking about if there are 50 states, Louisiana had to be 47 or 48. And you take a California test. California is always ranked in the top 5. And you send it to a school that's in a school system in a state that's ranked number 47 of all schools across the country. And you expect for us to succeed? Give me a break. I mean, you put these tests on a student's desk and you expect for them to pass, and you tell them if they don't pass it, then I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to graduate, or you're going to have to repeat the 4th grade or the 8th grade, or you're going to have to repeat the 12th grade. You're not going to be able to graduate. I mean, do y'all see what's going on here? So these teachers in Atlanta didn't want these students to go through these things, so they helped them out. Because obviously the state of Georgia wasn't going to help them out by saying, hey, we're not teaching these people, we're not teaching these students the same thing that these students in New York are learning, where we're getting this test from, or these students in California, where they're getting this test from. They decided that, yeah, we're going to lay it all on the table. We are going to test our students, even though they know that these students are not going to be able to pass this test. If you gave these students the test, they're not going to pass it on their own. So teachers had to do it themselves. Now, am I condoning cheating? Absolutely not. If you're cheating, then you need to be fired. I'm not saying that these teachers don't need to lose their jobs, but what I'm saying is, going to jail? These teachers have been convicted of racketeering. Do people know what racketeering is? Racketeering is something that they give to mob bosses. What that they give to it's like a white collar crime. It's like what you do for big businesses and stuff like that. People who own $1 million estates, $1 billion estates. These are the type of people that go to jail for racketeering. You're doing this to teachers. You're taking teachers away from their families 10, 15 years because they cheated on a standardized test that students shouldn't have gotten in the first place. And then you want to turn around and tell the whole entire nation that you did the right thing. Give me a break. This would have never happened if some of these other educators wasn't hating on the fact that these people from Atlanta, a predominantly African-American city, a predominantly African-American school system, didn't exceed expectations because they became upset about it. And we can go ahead and let's just address the elephant in the room. This had everything to do. This had everything to do with race. I feel like if it was a school somewhere in Scottsdale, Arizona, or it was a school somewhere out in Savannah, Georgia, where it's not predominantly African American, it was predominantly white, we wouldn't ask these type of questions. We wouldn't have to, because they're out in Savannah, Georgia. They're out there exceeding expectations. I don't care what nobody think about me for saying this. The fact of the matter is, it's true. In my opinion, it's true. These teachers don't deserve to lose their freedom, and we're treating these teachers like they committed murder or something like that. This is absolutely ridiculous. I am absolutely 100% disgusted with how the judicial system is handling this situation. We have real killers out here. We have real people that trying to destroy things, really trying to go out here and sabotage things. And you want to wrap taxpayers' dollar up in something like this? Give me a break here. If I'm living in the state of Georgia, I am absolutely disgusted because I feel like they're taking my tax money to exercise the judicial system for absolutely nothing. This is bogus. If you really want to know who really committing a crime, they need to put some of these educators, they need to put the state of Georgia on trial for telling these students that you can pass a test when you're not even ranked in the top 10 among academically acceptable states. That's the real crime here. Not teachers cheating. It's wrong. Is it a crime to cheat? Yes. Is it a crime? Yes, it is. But should they be somewhere in a jail cell with some real criminals that committed real crimes? Absolutely not. I am disgusted here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am disgusted with the judicial system of Georgia. I am disgusted at the education system of Georgia right now. In the city of Atlanta, this is a black eye to me. This is an embarrassment. How can you allow your judicial system to carry out this? 11 people are going to lose their freedom because they decided to try to help a student out the wrong way. But they knew in their heart of hearts that these students were not going to be able to pass. Because let's address this elephant in the room. You don't give the students good textbooks. You don't give them the right type of toolage. Most teachers today, in my opinion, are ready to break out the door when it comes 3:15. When I was in school, teachers actually used to care about the students. They actually used to care. They used to actually sit in the classroom and give you detention. Detention, they didn't get paid for that. This was 30 minutes extra that they felt they had to spend with you in order for you to get the lesson. We don't have that today. We have teachers out here that just want to look good in the classroom, don't really care what they teach. We got teachers that just want to get a paycheck. We got these fly-by-night teachers with absolutely no passion for the classroom. And we expect for them We expect for these teachers to help our students, to help our children. You're tripping. You're absolutely tripping. That's my opinion. That's TJ's opinion. It's an embarrassment. Absolutely embarrassing the way that they're carrying this thing out. These teachers should be fired. They shouldn't be arrested. They shouldn't be sentenced to 5-10 years in prison. Talking about racketeering. What does the teacher, what can really happen to them? Honestly, what can really happen to these teachers? Huh? I mean, you talking about pay advancement, talking about they getting promotions that they didn't earn. Who said they didn't earn it? I mean, standardized tests happens, I don't know, what, like towards the end of the school semester? But what about the times where they actually teaching in the classroom? Huh? We're not gonna count those, right? Oh, that doesn't matter because they cheated. Whatever, man. This came from a place of hate, in my opinion. They wanted to take these teachers down. They didn't accept the fact that they had some African American students out here doing their thing, so they investigated. If it was anybody else, if it was any other race, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Don't tell me about, oh man, it is wrong. They should be punished. Yeah, they should be punished, but not go to jail. You can't sell me that. You ain't selling me that. But though, I hope those 11 teachers, I hope they get exonerated. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, man. I mean, I hope they don't go to jail. I really don't. I really hope that they don't carry out this sentences. I just hope that the worst, case scenario, they lose their job. Hope they don't, end up losing their freedom away from their families, and they're gonna talk about kids testifying because they were the ones that suffered because the teachers didn't teach them. Like, come on, man. Like, where y'all drag that up from? I mean, cut the check. How much did y'all pay these students to stand up there? How much did you pay their parents in order for you to try to destroy these teachers like this? I mean, a rap sheet for this, it's not worth it, in my opinion. This is The Real Show right here on Spreaker.com. It's your boy TJ. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Atlanta public school teaching scandal. 11 teachers have been convicted of racketeering. They're looking to face up to 20 years in prison if they are convicted. 20 years. 20 years. I think that is an absolute embarrassment. Woosah. Y'all know how I get when I'm passionate about something. For those that know me, I'm real passionate. I'm real passionate about stuff. I mean, I love to change the subject. I really love movies. I really love this, and this is in my next topic, but it's on my mind right now. I was watching a movie before I started the show. It was me and my fiance, and we're sitting on the couch, we're watching Netflix. Man, shouts out to Netflix. $7.99 get you any movie almost, man. Like almost any movie you want to see. It's all changed, man. High definition. And I'm watching it on my Xbox One. All right. So we're watching Netflix. And I noticed Juice was in the archives of Netflix. So I'm like, man, Juice is on, man. I gotta check that out. And turns out that my fiance never seen Juice. Are you kidding me? Like, Juice is a timeless classic. Okay, let me rephrase that. Juice is a hood timeless classic. Y'all know it, man. Omar Epps, Tupac Shakur. I mean, it was a classic movie, man. It's about four friends, growing up in New York City, and Tupac Shakur character, which is Bishop, kind of struggles with, being real and, getting street credibility and, not being afraid. And they called it having juice. And